crazy. Like,
Dude, I can't imagine that they will get worse. They just keep going. So,
yeah.
for example, so my kids, my all our kids, adult children, one in LA, one in Seattle, two here, and we've already established a code word where if I get the calls, this, hey, this is I need bail money or anything like that, you're like code word, because the AI voice cloning was good enough 2 years ago to scam people.
Oh yeah. Actually, I just heard that today. I was having a conversation with a customer, and they have a code word too that only they know. So
Mhm.
if they say pineapple, then they know it's real.
Right on. Cool. Well, let's start in an official way as people are joining live. Everybody, it's Sid with the huge convention. Excuse me. This is a huge live, and we do this leading right up to the huge convention, which is 3 weeks away. But we get to have a lot of our speakers join live and do a little interview, some Q&A, give away a couple tickets, and have some fun. But the purpose of that is so that people get to know you before the huge, because when you get there, there's 25 breakout speakers, and you go, you got to choose, who do I go see? What do I need to learn? Or am I just going to go to the trade show and drink beer and look at all the cool stuff, which all of these are great choices, but how do you decide? So, Justin, as you got you Sky Power Wash. You're in Washington, just north of Seattle, right?
That's
Cool.
right.
Have
Yeah,
you?
Marysville.
Okay. Marysville. Have you been? You guys aren't affected by all the wildfire smoke
Oh, we
in your
are.
state,
It's nasty here today. Yeah,
is it?
it's all pushing over from Eastern Washington.
Yeah. The like we're used to getting a lot of smoke and wildfires in our area. I'm in Montana, and Washington is getting torched this year. It's just
Hmm.
crazy the amount of fires, and we're not that far from Spokane. I mean, we're 150 miles, but like
Yeah,
it is wild,
it's
wild right now.
brutal. Yeah, my wife's neighborhood is actively burning right now. The one that she grew up in is on fire. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Unbelievable. Well, with that, well, that's a way to start. Let's talk about all the bad news. I'm the
Yeah,
anti-bad news guy, but
it's all uphill from here.
yeah, yeah, good. I check the smoke map every morning and see what's going to happen here. Yesterday, our air quality was so poor, um, we rescheduled all the work. I didn't want any of my team out, working in it. They could. One guy did. He wore a respirator all day, and it's fine. But you're like, we got to keep other people safe no matter what. So let's do this. Let's stop talking about the weather. That's funny. So you're Marysville. You started your power washing job as a side hustle and have grown into a seven-figure business there in Washington. I would love to hear you tell the origin story because it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So I think, well, this is year two of telling that origin story, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I grew up as a commercial fisherman. So long lining was the main industry. My mom shipped me up from Seattle to Ketchikan, Alaska at 6 years old. And so I met my dad there. We basically just ran the boat down for, what, 3 or 4 years. And then when I was 10, so every year I would go to Alaska. When I was 10, it was the first year I actually went and did one trip. Made $200, was the rich kid in school. It was
Hell
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, I was loaded. All the candy
Yeah.
bars. And then so I continue on every summer. School gets out. I might have a week of summer break and then fly up to Alaska, fish somewhere between, I mean, a week to a month during school. And then once I got graduated, then I'd do the full season, and that was probably 3 months max, maybe. Um, and I did that up until I was 30. I'm turning 40 this year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, so 10 years ago is when I quit the fishing officially. And that was when my wife Nicole was pregnant with Harper, our firstborn. And, a combination of things, but the main reason was just to be home and not be missing out on like big chunks of her life. And so, yeah, so I was running Sky Power Wash on the side for maybe a couple years, not really trying very hard, just Craigslist ads, like seeing what came of it.
Yeah.
And then realized that when the fishing income went away, I was going to have to provide for the family, and so I better do something with this. And so, listened to tons of podcasts, audiobooks, whatnot, and came across Josh Latimer, joined his mastermind group, and that was 20. It was right before COVID. Was that like 2019 or something?
Okay.
2018? I don't know. And so I was in that program for quite a while. Had a coach, and then I've cycled through a few coaches, and just went through the school of hard knocks, I guess. And so now here's where we're at, and uh, actually had a couple flat years just in years past, but this year we're growing pretty well again, leaned up a whole bunch, and yeah, it's bright futures.
All right. Cool. I'm going to loop back around. I'm going to ask you a question about three things that you said. But first, I want to say hello to everybody that's joining live. Thanks for hopping in. If you've got questions for Justin or for me as we go, put them in the chat. But before we as we start getting into the show here, just say hi in the comments and tell us where you're joining from. And a little bit later, like 20 minutes or so, we're going to give away a ticket to the huge convention. So hop on in, say hi, and let's see who's here. Barry, my man. Barry, I have to ask Barry a question. Barry, I messaged you from the huge convention page about a ticket to the show, and I'm not sure if you saw it. You messaged me on Facebook, and I'm really terrible about Facebook messaging. So, did you get that message to grab your ticket? If not, I'll resend it to you personally. Sorry, Justin. I'll send you a ticket too.
I agree with that statement. Facebook Messenger is not a quick communication with Sid.
Yeah, it's not, and I apologize for it. It's just a platform that I kind of don't enjoy Facebook because it used to be people and now it's all the suggested stuff and the stream. And I just want to follow people that I want to follow, not see everything that the algorithm thinks I will like, which I do, and I get lost in it. So I stay off of it. There we go. Cole, good to see you on here. Go, Justin.
Cole, what's up, dude?
Oh man, we're good. All right, so you kind of answered a few of the questions that I had. First question I was going to ask you is how did you learn how to power wash? And you you kicked the can, you goofed around, you learned business from mastermind, from coaching, stuff like that. But did you have specifically? You mentioned Latimer and joining his mastermind. What are some of the other mentors or coaches that you had that really helped you out?
So, I mean, I guess initially, how did I learn how to pressure wash was my father-in-law. So the way I really got into pressure washing was I bought his pressure washer from him.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a Hotzi unit, dual axle, probably 20 grand new.
That was a good one, yeah.
Yep. And so it was heavily used. When first day, everything broke on it. It was crazy. I blew up 3 hoses, battery, it was insane. But so I learned from him how to pressure wash, and then I joined the mastermind group, and Michael Grigory was my first Conquer coach, and he convinced me that I should spray bleach instead of water because it's easier and faster and better.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so hesitant to do it for a long time. I just didn't want to mess with chemicals, and so he got me to go to the dark side and joined Soft Wash Systems for a little bit, learned a whole bunch there. And then, I guess Sam Gemble, he owns Atlas. It's a landscape business
Okay.
out of Flint. He taught me a whole bunch on leadership, and he got me into Facebook, like self-promoting on Facebook, or networking through Facebook, I guess, getting sales. And then now I'm with Nick DeMark, and Nick's he's so dialed in on his data, his spreadsheets. It's super eye-opening seeing all this granular data coming out of the business, so I can make it just makes decision making so much easier.
Yeah. Let me pop in. Hey, John. Good to
Ah,
see you in here. How's
John.
your knee doing, buddy? You had knee surgery recently.
Yeah, probably a
So,
hockey accident.
yeah, I just broke all the HIPAA rules by revealing they had knee surgery. Sorry about that.
You're not
Yeah,
at all. It's fine.
good. Um, good. Yeah, Nick has been a member of our mastermind, and he's like, I mean, you obviously know him, super interesting guy. He's got the business in, is it Wisconsin or Michigan?
Yeah.
Where's his business? Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's Wisconsin. It's close to Milwaukee. So
Yeah. But he lives in Puerto Rico most of the time and super data driven, really dialed.
yeah, he lives in Puerto Rico 183 days per year.
One day more than the minimum requirement. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
Nice nice benefit to that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, okay. So I'm going to ask you a question related to Nick and getting coaching from him, because a few years ago when we were in our mastermind, we were talking about they had added or they were emphasizing snow plow service during the wintertime. And he just set up a system where they had ads running or whatever, and when they would get so many people to go, I want it, I want it, I want it, it triggered like buy a truck, hire a guy, train somebody new, send them out. And they scaled from, if I remember correctly, and I'm embellishing a little bit, but they went from like 2 plow trucks to 14 over the course of one winter, because they advertised heavily, they got enough jobs to support a truck, they bought one, they hired a guy. And I was like, it made me nervous, the pace of that growth, because I was like, in my head, as I got older, I'm a little more conservative. I'm like, well, what if something breaks? Well, what if it gets warm? What if you can't support that? And he's like, if you can't support it, somebody gets let go, and you park a truck, and if you can't make the payments, you sell it, and like it's not a big deal. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's a tough mental block to get over. It's I mean, I don't I've never scaled as fast as that. Not even close. But yeah, it's just math. And like he's very analytical, so he knows the math works. He has an exit strategy. Go for it.
yeah, yeah. It really is it. It's just follow the math and don't get too worked up about it. That's good. So, all right. What is your opinion on the keys to success? The key to success being this one key. I've interviewed so many people for the Huge Transformation Show and my other podcast that it, like, so many people found their mojo and their success when their first child came.
Okay.
How did that drive you? Because I mean, it obviously made a very big decision to stop working with your family, with your dad in the commercial fishing, and go, I need to be closer to home. So
Yeah.
what changed in your head to just the way you think about work life and family and freedom? That's a big question, but it's a
Yeah,
big
it
trip.
is. Uh yeah. I mean everything changed, right? Um so you go to that ultrasound appointment, you see the heartbeat, and you're like, okay, this thing is real, and it's just there was an instant attachment there. Like that's when I first had an attachment. I was like, okay, crazy. And then she's born, and when she was born, like I had this. It was, I don't know, maybe an epiphany, I guess. Like now, this is the thing that matters now. Like it's not me. It's making her like she's what's going to carry on after I'm gone. So it's pouring into her to ensure that she has the best chance for success. And then my son comes a couple of years later, and it's like, okay, cool. Now it's another dude, so it's like I could, it's me carrying on again, and I, it really just changed everything for me. It was like I'll do whatever it takes to make sure that they're happy in whatever regard that is, or I want them to struggle. I don't want them to have stuff handed to them. Like
Mhm.
they have they have access to a lot of really crazy cool things that I never had growing up. Um, but I don't want to have that spoiled rich kid thing with them, like where mommy and daddy take care of them for the rest of their life. So we've always just pushed them to eat dirt, fall off things, bleed a little bit, cry, and grow. And they're blossoming. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, that's great. On that, leaning into that, John D. Rockefeller became the wealthiest man in the world with Standard Oil in the late 1800s, and during the time in his meteoric rise to wealth, I mean, he was such an astute businessman. They're by far the wealthiest family in Ohio or wherever they started, and all his kids wore hand-me-downs. Like he didn't buy his children new clothes because he didn't want them to be spoiled by the wealth that was around him. He wanted them to understand what it takes to work. And that's a really, yeah, I grew up on a farm, and that was a way of life. And we didn't have much. So we had to work a lot. But then my kids' scenario, like yours, like, yeah, it's very different. So we had to make shit up. We had to make up hardships for them to endure,
Yeah.
to earn stuff so they could recognize things.
Yeah. And I like that, to tangent off that, uh, you know, so my dad, being in the fishing industry, would sell to a cannery, and the owner of that cannery, uh, the seafood processing company, actually loaned my dad the money to buy his house,
Mhm.
because the banks wouldn't fund him because he was a broke fisherman with like catching dogfish in Puget Sound. And then Bob is his name, comes out on the boat with us. This was a while ago, maybe 20 years ago. And he's probably in his 80s at this point. But he comes out on a long line trip, and he had sold the seafood company, exited for I think 100 million or somewhere in that range. But he's out on deck fishing with us like probably 12 hours of the day. He's 80, so he has to take a break.
Yeah.
But the work ethic is still there. And then we go to Anthony's in Bellingham. Cole, you'll know that one. Uh, he's out of Bellingham. Um,
Okay.
so we go to his house. He has like these freaking mammoth tusks, mastodon. I don't even know, like crazy fossils in there, like
Yeah.
a water slide. And then we go eat at Anthony's, and he's wearing a sweatshirt with cut off sleeves, like just ripped, like with a knife. And the reason he's wearing it is because when you're fishing, you don't want fish guts all over your sweatshirt, so he just naturally cuts all the
Just cut
sleeves.
it.
Yeah, and that's what fishermen do. But this guy could buy, he's worth more than anybody in that restaurant by far. Maybe worth more than everybody in that restaurant.
Right.
So it was just a cool experience to see that, like the humble, like not flashy thing.
Right
Yeah,
on.
Anthony's is great.
Yeah.
Look for Bob Bingham.
Right. Nice. Well, let's. I'd love to have you share. Oh, I have to share this. You're speaking at the Huge again this year. You
Mhm.
spoke last year, and we're really glad to have you back. Our guy that does some of our graphic design and sets up things like we made the little image for Justin Noggle speaking at the Huge convention. We call it the speaker promo card, and he messaged me and he goes, which picture am I supposed to use? It had two pictures. There's the one that we used with you and your daughter, and then there was this other one like this where you're holding a bazooka. I was like, I want to use that one because this is very cool. It's a great shot of the range, and I don't know what firearm you're holding there, but I said we better keep it family friendly. Put him with his daughter. What are you shooting there at the range?
That was a 50 cal. That's a Barrett 50. So,
Okay.
yeah, bolt action. Uh, yeah, I went down to Vegas February before last. Hung out with Rob Eisenstadt. I don't know if he's coming this year. He was there last year at the Huge. I think he spoke too, maybe. But anyway, went down there, visited him, shot a few guns, and I don't know. I think I was talking with Nina, and I gave her like three options, and I said I kind of like this one the best, but like is it okay? Like, I don't know how PC you're supposed to be, or like, is this gonna, so the title is how to make money when everything's falling apart. And I thought the gun might allude to like robbing banks or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. It was like we're using this to make money.
Yeah. What do you just go
We go.
take the money? But
When is one
uh,
last resort? What do you do?
right, yeah. I mean, apocalyptic scenario, I'm sure that would help. But
Yeah,
no, it was just a fun trip and kind of a cool shot. I don't know. I figured it would be kind of a fun thing, like attention grabbing. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Well, it plays very well to our audience because majority, like blue collar, hardworking, freedom minded men and women. There'd be two people out of 2,000 that would be offended and go, "Oh my god!" But it's
Well,
fine.
here's the other part of that. What I've found as I've done more like the social media, the Facebook stuff, I don't have a filter typically, and I'll post things and say things that I really shouldn't sometimes. And my wife will call me on it and she'll tell me, hey, you need to take that down right away. Um, but when I do post something that's slightly on the offensive side or slightly like politically skewed one way or the other, it
Hmm.
either drives away the people I don't want to be around anyways because they would annoy me, or it pulls in the people that I do want to be around. So I kind of want to be polarizing just so that I attract the people I would prefer to do business with or be friends with.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It is effective. Hey, Daryl commented here. I want to address that. In fishing world, he said he bought the boat from the owner of Anthony's. So,
I don't know the owner of Anthony's. Does Bob own Anthony's? He owned a seafood company. Daryl was in my Daryl's a friend of mine here too, and he was at the Huge last year and watched my presentation. That was really cool.
that's cool. Um, so your title of what you're going to be speaking in your breakout session is how to make money when things are going wrong. But yeah, is it so much different than how you make money when things are going right?
Uh, no, I mean principles stay the same, right? But it's I guess so. I've talked a lot about mindset in the last one. It was I don't know if you saw the whole thing, but the a big topic of it was the gratitude journal, the 5 minute journal. And so
Hmm.
I had the whole crowd fill out three things they're grateful for, three things that make today great, just like a mindset journal. And I struggle with ups and downs like emotionally. So I'll go through periods of depression, I'll go through periods where I'm like feeling good. Excuse me. And in those periods where I'm not feeling good, I am not motivated to do anything. Like getting out of bed is a struggle for me sometimes. Just motivating myself to go. And what I realized in my last period of struggle was that the business has to survive regardless of whether I do. The bus factor that they talk about.
Yeah,
So if I am in a state where I can't perform at my best, the business still has to operate and still has to grow. And so it really helped me realize that there's a lot of systems that were not conducive to that. And so I went in this year, cut a whole bunch of overhead, went in and just stripped the systems down, and I'm rebuilding them. And then I can put that leadership back in place with quality systems so that if I'm out canoeing with somebody in boundary waters or if I'm at the huge convention, it's still growing.
yeah, yeah. You talk about when you stripped it down, cut overhead, and so did you kind of tear it down and start from scratch, like first principles, and go, why do I need this? What's the actual objective? Or did you just look at the system you had and go, this is redundant, this is too fat, like streamline it? Like, how did you approach doing that?
So I guess my goal with the business has always been to have 100% time freedom. Like I I could have grown this business way faster if I was money motivated a little bit more.
Mhm.
But my whole goal is just to be able to go to the soccer games, go to pick the kids up from school, drop them off at school, like go out like with my wife whenever she feels like if she's having a bad day, go home. So that was always how I wanted the business to function. And so I put in a whole bunch of, well, I had like 4 non-revenue producing positions that I got rid of this year. And, Nick gave me a fair warning that it was going to be crazy in springtime. And it was, but it forced me to look at it and see it firsthand again after years of not looking at it and
Yeah.
just letting it kind of coast the way it was. And I found a whole bunch of redundancy, a whole bunch of outdated systems, a whole bunch of just junk that we don't need anymore or needs updating. And so a ton of things are changing really fast, which also puts stress on the team. And so, we had the churn happen
Hmm.
where the guys that were comfortable with the coast have either self-exited or been promoted to other companies. And
I
you
like
know
that. Yeah.
that was a Sam Gambleism. That was a good one. um, but so yeah, so we've gone through a ton of guys this year. And you know the next round that comes in is always a better fit for where we're at that time. And I don't want turnover. We focused real heavy on um, culture and making it a place that is fun. Like, have fun is our number one core value.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's an enjoyable place to be, but it needs, but elevates our second core value. So they need to be somebody that's growth minded, that's going to grow with us and not be scared of that change or resistant to it.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you how you think about this, because that's when, being a boss and then being a friend can be very different. Sometimes they can conflate when you're the owner, but having an employee that is, that matches that core value of elevate, they're growth minded, they want to move, they want to grow, they're purpose driven, versus having an employee that just wants a stable job, that is really really good at that job, but they don't have an ambition beyond that. Their ambition is to have a stable job. They would work at the post office, or they work for you, and they're steady. How do you view somebody like that?
I think there's a place for both. Um, I think the problem this year is that, well, enforcement was happening again. So, there needs to be an accountability metric, like something that holds them accountable to the process that we expect, or the outcome that we expect.
Hmm.
And that wasn't being enforced for years. So checklists is a prime example. Daily, we have checklists all over the place. So morning, evening, um, on the job, multiple checklists, and those just weren't being submitted. And now we're enforcing it. We're making it's easy. You have to keep it as easy as possible, or it doesn't get done. It has to be harder to not do it
Yeah.
than do it, or it just doesn't happen. And so it still needs some refining. But when they start enforcing that, you start having the actual verbal, written suspension, termination. Following progressive discipline. It's like it either gets real to them and they switch and they realize, hey, this is for my gain. You know, because all of these processes we put in place are for their benefit and for the benefit of the company, but they either get it or they don't. And if they can't adapt to the new system, then they don't have a place here. And it's not, they're all good people, but they need something that's more built up and at this plateau to be
Hmm.
in, or they need to get comfortable with change and know that it's for the better.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I find it so fascinating that um, sometimes, I mean, you've got a mature employee, they're really good, but they just resist change, even things that make it better, easier, faster, whatever. They
Hmm.
just resist the hell of it. During, in 2020, everything was a funky year in so many ways, but we had 15 employees, and we had to adapt to all the changes and the codes and the mandates and things that were happening. We had, at the end of 2020, December, we had 0 employees. I lost every single person or fired them. And it was like, I made one person walk the plank into a tank full of sharks, and then everybody else just got fired the regular way. But it was a hard year. And then at the end of the year, I was like, I don't know if I want to start, like, this might be a good time to close. I was very frustrated. But I took a week, and I started with culture, and I defined exactly the type of culture we wanted. And then I changed the compensation, and I changed a couple of other things, and fired it back up in the spring. And it was very difficult, 2021, because I was suddenly the ops manager, the owner, the sales director, and the office manager, which I suck at. And until I found somebody, but I hired 8 guys, and they were almost all just like young guys ready to hustle. And these 8 guys that had never ran a squeegee before, we had the most profitable year we had up to that point. And they made a lot of money. Everybody was happy, and it was tight knit, but it was, you remember the movie, The Princess Bride?
Yes.
Yeah. So you have, the Dread Pirate Roberts, and he said, well, I'm not the real Dread Pirate Roberts. Neither was the one before me. It was easier to get a crew to change by firing everybody and hiring all new guys, and then, going, this is the way it is. And so when the new guys come in, they just go, oh, this is the way it is. They don't buck it because it's not a change. And I go, why is that so hard?
Yeah, I don't know. It's I think it's like the devil, it's it's broken, it sucks, but the fear of new is more than the discomfort of old, I guess, or something. I don't know. It's weird. To me, it's weird. I don't get it. Like, I am a creature of habit like anybody else. Like, I like things to know how things are going to go. But if things are going too smooth for me too, because I'm an entrepreneur, I'll just like throw a grenade in it, just thing to do because I'm bored and like ADHD or something. I don't know.
Your team loves that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Dude, ask my office manager. I'm sure she'll see this. Like, I'm sorry, but like,
Yeah.
I just get bored too easy. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you guys, in your team, do you use an operating system like Traction or the Freedom operating system?
So yeah, we do level 10 meeting. Well, we are starting up level 10 meetings again. We do a daily check-in, but
Mhm.
not, I don't follow EOS exactly, but similar principles. Honestly, this year I've really gone heavy into Claude,
Okay.
Claude AI, and that's
Yeah.
having a Claude channel that knows the business, is linked to my Google Drive, knows all the SOPs. It's been so easy to build systems and implement them just by talking to it when I'm driving down the road and have a random thought, that it's really helped me just take an idea and throw it into action immediately.
That's really good. That's really good. We started using EOS, or a version of it, 3 years ago, I think. And the number one thing it did was it actually put constraints on me to not change things every week or every month and go, hey, this is a new thing. This is going to be great. The big shift was that now everything gets followed through on. And like, I start one of these crazy things, and it actually crosses the finish line. And I don't drive my team insane by changing things, on a weekly basis. I like the excitement of new and change and fun. But not everybody on the team feels the same way. They're like, we just started this other thing and I'm only halfway into it. Why are we changing?
Well, the other thing's boring. This thing's better.
That's right.
No, I agree with that too, and that's what's great about the EOS process, because you have the rocks, and I can't remember all the different things, but your quarterly, your weekly, your monthly, your yearly. But so I do have to get more. It's on my calendar. I feel like I'm pretty sure it's there, so I should be doing it now.
Yeah. Good. Well, is there anything that you would like to share? How you're starting to coach and help others learn how to run their business now, right?
So I did that for a little bit. I was doing Josh's program. I was a facilitator. I had a couple coaching clients, and I did really enjoy it. Like I wanted to get back to it, but I went heavy on the business focus. I was realizing I was taking focus away from the thing that was actually, you know, keeping the lights on. So I backed away from that, but I still answer questions all the time that come to me on Facebook, and I'm always happy to help, and I will get back into coaching.
All right. All right. The last thing before we start wrapping up, I did want to ask you, and I've been asking everybody that I talk to, like, what are you seeing in the marketplace this year as far as like your business competition in your area? Are more people entering? Are sales harder or easier? Like, what are you seeing?
Um, so, I, I mean, pressure washing, it's low barrier, so there's always a huge influx every spring, and then they leave in the summer.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know that the competition is any different, or I'm not noticing more. There may be even less, honestly, because the last couple of years have been tough economy. Um, so demand was really high this year. Um, July took a very sharp dip compared
Okay.
to what we've seen in the past as far as like call volume.
Yeah.
So I don't know what August is going to bring, but that was a little concerning there. But I mean, we're up. I should look at it. I should know it. But if we're up, if I had to guess, it's in the 25 to 30% range over last year.
Hmm.
So, as far as sales go, and then, obviously streamlining it, profits were way better than last year. So, I don't know. I think it's looking relatively good, but there's always that market uncertainty with war and all the crazy DC stuff. So, who knows? All you can do is just try.
Yeah. 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 You just keep swinging. In 2009, when we had the big crash, I had a very small company. I had two employees, and everybody's freaking out. And I sat down with them and I said, "Hey, look, they thought I was going to fire them because you just let them go." And I said, "No, here's what we're going to do." I said, "We'll start by, everybody gets a raise, and we're just going to work harder." It's like, I don't know how this is going to work out, but let's just work harder and see if we can make it stick. And we amped up our marketing and our service in the area, and we actually grew quite a bit. And several other companies went out of business because shit hit the fan, and they stopped advertising. Like, got to hold on to the money, and like it's counterintuitive and it feels hard.
Yeah.
Um, but it's similar to you. Like we had the biggest dip of like a drop off the second week of July. Just went like crickets. So instead of freaking out, I did freak out a little bit. It gave me an opportunity to throw the grenade in my team. I'm like, it's an emergency. We have to do this. And we just started hitting it really hard, like calling every customer, past customer, going, it's been a year. It's been 2 years. Come out door, making offers. And we're still in a dip, a little bit bigger than normal for this time of year, but recovered quite a bit from that. But it's just been, it's funny how you go, I don't know, one of our employees asked me years ago, is like, I bet you've got a really great retirement plan as a business owner. Like, you've invest all this money. I'm like, I invest every dollar we make into the company.
Yeah.
Like, it has to work, or there is no retirement plan. I'll be the greeter at Walmart. Like,
Yeah.
it's got to work. That's
Yeah.
my plan. And
High risk investment strategy.
yeah, right. Like, it's all in. But it the people that go all in are the ones that they end up either washed up on the beach, but really they're the ones that make it.
Yeah. And the way I see it, if you don't quit, you can't lose. You have to not quit. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Hey, a couple of comments popped in. I want to say hello here. Craig Hensel, with the rolling with the window rolling. God dang it, the Window Cleaners Museum, rolling with the window clean. I'm
Oh,
screwing it up, and I'm sorry, but
he
I can't
commented
wait.
last year, and I never saw him at the Huge. I was gonna go check out his like historic window cleaner thing or something.
It, my opinion, very my humble but correct opinion, was the best booth at the trade show. It was just
Yeah,
so good. It was so thought through, and the amount of memorabilia and stuff that he brought to the show,
yeah.
really, really cool. I can't wait to see you this year, Craig. And
Find me, Craig.
now, Daryl, talk about. Let's see. Summer slows down. Digging database 55. Okay, good. That's a big jump. Um, I've seen a lot of new advertisers in our area, like solo operators that are running Facebook ads, and they're working hard.
Yeah, and you see it all the time. I tried I tried to meet all of them. Just I met two today, but they're gonna roll through. Hopefully they make it, and hopefully they're good competition.
Yeah, yeah. How do you when you see somebody new, what pops into your mind? Somebody like there's a new company in your area. You said hopefully they make it. Good competition. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Well, um, so the new guys usually they're like I was when I started, and price super low because they're scared because they can't feed their family. They just need to fill the schedule. They're gonna bid it, undercut me by, you know, whatever it is, 60%. They're gonna cut it in half or more.
Yeah.
Um, but they don't realize all the opportunity that they're missing out on, and the kind of customer that they're attracting by being the cheap guy. And so if I can educate them, they can level themselves up. You know, I guess I enjoy seeing other people win almost more than myself. So it's
Mhm.
kind of like it's fun to be a part of somebody's journey and see them take something I said to them and just shoot to the moon with it. There's I've had guys in coaching programs like Ryan Johnson's one of those guys. He has a is it Reach now? He
Yeah,
was
reach down to Arizona.
yeah. So he was in one of my groups, and he's some 20-something-year-old making $1 million, and I'm like, what the? How is this kid doing this? Like, but he grabs an idea, throws it in action, throws fuel on it, and just goes all in. He's not afraid of the risk, and it's really cool to see that and give him a little snippet of an idea and just see it 100% in action right away.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Craig, I love this. Knowledge, skills, experience, wisdom, opportunity within understanding is a really cool distinction between knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that we'll save for another day because I'll start ranting for about an hour on that deal. But yeah,
Awareness.
cool. Jay, thanks for popping in. I think the biggest qualification for speaking at the huge is you gotta have big guns. You just gotta
Oh,
go
he
for it.
does. I saw him speak at Conquer Summit,
Oh
I
yeah.
think. Yeah, that was pretty. He's got big guns. He's good.
Cool. Jay, to answer that question, every year we have an application process. You can apply to speak at the huge, and we usually get between 60 and 100 applications, and we have 25 to 30 um, speakers. So it goes by topic, it goes by experience, and just a little vetting thing. So um, watch for it for next year. Most of our speaker slots are filled by March, definitely by April. So months ahead of the huge convention. But man, I'd love to see your stuff. So, and Craig vouches for you. So you just move right up the ranks. Really, that's all you need. So if Craig says, hey, this guy's cool, then you're in.
Just do it somewhere colder next year. Orlando in August. Come on.
Guys, all right. That's a whole thing. And there's some economic factors. And there's also the history of the huge convention of when and where it started before we bought it. And my vote is always like, let's have the huge convention in February in Mexico because I'm in Montana and it's cold and I'm
Yeah.
not doing a lot in February, but I can handle Mexico. Um,
I
the,
vote yes.
yeah. the economics are different. Because like I realized with Chris and the guys that started the huge convention, when that summertime, I mean August in New Orleans, you get some good deals. Like it's cheaper to host a convention there in when nobody wants to be there. It's like off season. So we've concentrated always in the southeast because that's where we have so many power washers and stuff. So yeah,
We could do Seattle, Washington next year in July.
there we go. I would vote for that and take extra time and spend time in the San Juans. Um, oh my gosh. You grew up in the water. I didn't. I grew up in West Texas where it's flat and there's no water within 100 miles. And one of my sons went to a private school here in town, actually a couple of them. Their field trip for 8th grade was to spend 5 days on the Adventurous. It was sailed out of Anacortes. It's a 100-foot, 100-year-old schooner.
Yeah.
And they got to sail this educational thing, and it was phenomenal. And of course, they asked me if I'd be a chaperone. I'm like, yeah, sign me up. I'd never experienced anything like it. I've never been on a boat on, it's not even open water. It's in the San Juans. But
San Juans is incredible. And
wow.
Olympic Peninsula. You should do the huge here. Just saying.
Okay. Put that in the suggestion box. Maybe we'll split it and have like 2 a year and have one where it's nice and cool and one where it's hot and sweaty.
There you go.
All right. Hey, we need to wrap it up. I want to see what Craig's saying here. Justin, museum's working on adding power wash. Check this out. Okay, cool.
I like
The
it.
power washing history. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I had an old, one of my guys got an old pressure washer from a customer, and the pump on it, I have no idea how it works, but it looked like a funnel. It was like, yeah, it just came to a point. It was round. Like, I never ripped it apart. I just threw it in the dump because it didn't work, but
Yeah.
I should have given it to him.
Right. I wonder if it had like a rotary type pump instead of a plunger pump.
Probably. I don't know. We'll never know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, listen, thanks for spending time with us. I'm looking forward to seeing you in person again this year. And as Craig mentioned, it's all inside. We thank God they have air conditioning down there in Florida. Anyway, for anybody that's coming, check out the speaker lineup and find out who you want to go and see. Justin brought it last year. You're bringing it again this year, and really helpful. So with that, I guess that's a wrap. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we go?
I don't think so. I think we're over time anyway. Yeah, just come check it out. Hopefully, I have a bigger room because it was like out the door last year. Brandon spoke before me, and he brought a ton of people. So, yeah, get there early or something and come hang out with Harper and I in the pool the rest of the time.
Right on. What day are you guys coming in?
I'm coming in Tuesday and then leaving Sunday.
Okay, cool. On Wednesday, do you have, are you doing any of the pre-show classes specifically?
I don't think so. No.
All right. Well, we invite you. Anybody else that's on here too. We're running the 10X business experience on Wednesday at 12:30, just right after lunch, and it's about 3 hours where we just go through 3 of the tools or concepts we use in our mastermind, the huge mastermind, and it's every year. It's like it's so potently eye-opening for people to shift the way they see their business and the way they see themselves in their business. And it doesn't give you, it's like, there's no silver bullet to business, but there are moments when you change the way you think and you see it so much bigger that like it just expands your mind, and that opens the door for the tools and changes that give you the growth to expand.
No, that sounds great. Yeah, definitely. I'm in.
Cool. All right. We got to close on this note. All right. First, Craig's talking to his daughter. Check this thing. Check it out. You can look up, you can go to, well, shit, I'm the guy that's got to know all this stuff. You get, go to thehuge-mastermind.com. Wait, I'm going to stick a banner up here. Whoops. Here. This, if you can type that much, we have a guest day. The other thing that is tops, and this is how we have to end the show, is you look like the lead singer of Styx.
No, I don't. Well, so outside my door right there is the bass guitarist for Born of Ghosts. So I'm going to pitch his thing on your thing. And he's playing my daughter's birthday party here on Sunday. We're going to have a live band and a bouncy house at my shop. So Daryl, if you want to come, Cole, you're pretty close too. You guys are invited too. But she's going to be the superstar at school next year.
That's cool. What's the name of the band?
It's called Born of Ghosts. And I'm looking at Brandon right now.
Okay.
There. Look it up. It's Lie to Me is the song. And they're the next Blink-182. That's it.
Okay. Well, I got to make sure Is this correct? Born of Ghosts?
Ghost.
Ghosts. Sorry.
I mean, that's close enough.
Sorry, guy. That's waiting at your door for you to be done. Ghosts.
No, he's good, but yeah, no. There's a little promo. He was on the radio station a few weeks ago. They're a good band.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Well, thanks again. Thanks for hanging out and having this kind of a little bit of ADD conversation, but a lot of fun.
A lot of it, but yeah, it's always good.
All right. We'll see you in Orlando in 3 weeks. See you, everybody. Thank you.